All right, guys, this is a setup video for Accordance Bible software for Mac, and this is taking the approach of trying to set up Accordance similar to BibleWorks. So if you are a BibleWorks former user and you've never used Accordance before, this setup will help you get close to kind of what BibleWorks was. Secondly, if you've never used Accordance ever, this is going to take you from step 1 to like step 10. And we're going to briefly cover 4 things. First, we're going to do how to install, and we're going to start with the very basics. And we're going to do how to set up your library, how to set settings so that things will work kind of like BibleWorks, and then how to set up your workspace. We'll cover those 4 things. So let's get right into it. Okay, first off, we're going to go to Accordance Home. And if you already have an account with Accordance, that's great. If not, create one. And you want to log in here like this. And then you're going to go over here and you're going to search for the green collection. So it's this one right here, this academic collection green level 1. This is the one of the products that DITP will use if you're a DITP student. Purchase it, add it to your cart, check out everything else, and then go over here to support and then hit download. And then we are downloading Accordance version 14, which is included with that academic green collection. We're not downloading for Windows, we're downloading for Mac. We're going to hit that button, and I'm using Chrome right now as my browser. It's going to download here. There we go, Accordance installer. I'm going to click on it, okay? And then I'm going to click the icon, and I'm going to drag it to my applications and drop it in there. Okay, so after installing Accordance, you're going to go down here to your Launchpad and then open Accordance right there. Wait for it to open up here. It's going to give you a couple options here. So it says, please choose a location that you like Accordance to create the Accordance files folder. The default one, which I believe is documents, is great. You just click choose. And then it's going to load. Okay. It's going to take us through Setup Assistant. First, we have to agree to this. Yes, I've already agreed to that. And it's going to load. Okay, so it actually already has me signed in, which is interesting. And it'll typically ask you to sign in initially. For some reason, I'm already signed in. I believe because I've installed Accordance on here before. But when it asks you to sign in, you're just going to enter the same credentials that you signed in for the website here in your account. Same username and password to sign in on this in the easy install. And when you sign in, it'll bring up all the options that you purchased. So your green collection, anything else that you purchased in your library, and you're going to just hit download all. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring in all of these, just these. It's going to take it a second. Download them. I'm going to hit continue setup. There we go. Okay, so this is how, when you first open it up, it'll look like this for you. And by default, it is in dark mode. So just for the sake, because it's hard to see black against for video. So just for the sake of video, I'm gonna go ahead and change that to, I'm gonna go here to display, and I'm gonna do toggle dark light mode. Okay, that's gonna bring everything a little bit higher contrast. All right, okay. So welcome to Accordance. It's amazing. Let's go ahead and set up your library, and you're not gonna get everything about why we're doing what. But towards the end of the video, we'll come back and I'll explain kind of what we're doing. So we'll just follow me, we're going to set it up, and then we'll come back and things will start to make sense, okay? Next, we're going to set up your library. So what you're going to do is you go over here to this little option right here, a little book, click the library, and this is where all your resources are. So all your texts, all your commentaries, dictionaries, Greek lexicons, everything that you purchased, the resources for Accordance are in this library. What we're going to do is we're going to go find NASB 95 right there, all the way at the bottom. Look at that. We're going to right click on that, and you can also, if you have a trackpad, I believe it is double click, or 2-finger click. Yeah, two finger click if you're using a trackpad. and we're going to go up to add to user group. Okay, so now here's the thing, there's no group, so we're going to do new group. I create a new group, and look how it has this my groups, and then this is the new group that we created called unentitled. Now we're going to title this one Bible, I can spell it right, Bibles I use. Okay, there we go, Bibles I use. We're going to scroll all the way back up the top here, and we're going to find a couple other texts that we'll throw in there. So I like the Net Bible. Let's put that one in there. So we're going to add to user groups, Bibles I use. And then let's put, how about we put ESV in there as well, add to user group. And then maybe, let's do Darby's. Bibles I use. Then let's do Young's Literal. That'll be interesting. And then lastly, let's do the NA28. And let me see. Texas Receptus is in here as well. Yep, right there. Let's do the Texas Receptus right there. Bibles I use. Okay. So there we go. Next, we're going to go down and we are going to create another user group. So here's the user group that we created, Bibles I use. Look, we've got the NA28, the Net, the ESV, Darby, Young's, all those are in. They're now grouped together. The reason why that's kind of important is we don't want to use all the Bibles at one time. We only want to use the ones that we want to use for the sake of filtering. For example, you go up here and you see, let's see, there is, it might not be in here, there's a lot, like the Italian Bible, the German Bible, the French Bible. You don't need those. So we're not going to use them. We're only going to use the ones that we like, the ones that are in there. Okay, so there's, and the ones that are in our user group. We're going to make a second user group. And this one we're going to call our lexicon group. So let's go over here to your Greek lexicon. See this little arrow? We're going to click that. It's going to drop down. It's going to have all of our Greek lexicons. Now, I probably have more than you because I have a decently extensive library, but you definitely, if you have the green collection, you have Laonida. So I want you to click on that one and hit add to user groups, except you're going to create a new group. And we're going to title this one, I'm going to rename that. Name item. Let's just do Lex. All right, then we're going to go back up here and we're going to add a couple more. So I've got Greek Strongs. Let's go ahead and add that one. Actually, let's see, what else do I have in here? I have the little Kittle. Let's add that one. Let's add to user groups. I use right there. And then let's go up here to, where is it, Greek Strongs. Let's add this one to the user group. Let's use. And now let's go to our Hebrew lexicon. So we're going to add both Greek and Hebrew lexicons into the lex I use, or the lexicons that you'll use. And then, let's see, what do we have here? We've got Hebrew Strongs. That's all the one I'm going to put in there. And let's go add a English dictionary. It's nice to have an English dictionary. I also have Vines. Let's add Vines in there. You might not have Vines. Vines is a great resource to have. It's a great dictionary. So we're going to add that one to there. And then we're going to add Webster's. Let's add Webster's in there as well. Okay, so now we've got two user groups created. We're going to create a last one. And this last one, I want you to only have these particular items. I want you to have your favorite Greek text, your favorite Greek source text, which mine is the NA28. And I'm going to put it in a new group. I'm going to call this group word lookup. Okay, so there's my favorite Greek source text. And then I'm going to do my favorite English translation, the one I use for study. I would prefer that you use the one that you're going to use for study, which Mine is this one right here, 95. So I'm going to put that in word lookup. And then lastly, we're going to put a Hebrew text in there. Now, I don't know if you have HMT. Right now, I have HMT demo. I have the full one, but I just didn't download it because I want it to be more like yours. But you most likely won't. It's not included in the green collection. The green collection includes the HMT demo, but it's only Genesis 1. So it's basically useless. But you do have this one right here. MT-ETCBC is its reference number. So you can search for that. And you're going to go over here and you're going to do add user group word lookup. Okay. So now that's my favorite Greek, or I guess it's not my favorite Hebrew text, but it's the only one that you'll have. So we're going to go with that. We've got word lookup, and our word lookup group has NA28, NASB 95, and this Hebrew text. Okay, so why did you do that? Well, like I said, we're just trying to help the program filter out the things that you want to use with the things that you don't want to use. Okay, and here's why that's important. We're going to now transition to setting up your settings. So see this little option right here, this live click option? You click that little box right there, a little gear shows. If it's not clicked, there's no gear. You gotta click it so that gear shows. All right, we're gonna click on that gear and we're gonna look at these live click settings. Okay, so now we got lookup types. And our lexicon lookup, we're gonna use custom group. So we're gonna check that, and we're going to use our lex option. And for verse lookup, we're going to keep it at text user tab, but we're going to check use custom group, and we're going to do Bibles I use. Perfect. Now for our word usage, we're going to do entire text, not current book. We're going to search the entire text. And then we're going to do use custom group of text, and this is going to be word lookup. All right, so that's all right. If your settings looks like that, you're good to go. We're also going to uncheck this word study. You may find it useful, but for right now, we're just going to uncheck it. Secondly, we're going to go over here and we're going to search by the lexeme rather than the inflected. Lexeme is the dictionary form of a word. The inflected is the written form on our well, I'll explain more of that later, but we're just going to go with the lexeme rather. And then key numbers, we have, we can search by key number or we can search by word. Now, this is extremely important in all of Accordance. You can really mess up a word study if you have this switched one way without knowing it. So we are going to always search by the word. So whenever we click on a word or we do a word search, we're not going to search for the key number, so the Strong's number of the word. Because what Accordance will do is if you click on an English word, it'll know what, depending on the translation that you're using, it'll know what the key number is behind that word. And that's the problem. It's depending on the translation that you use. So we don't want to depend on whether that word is, 2637 or 2837 or whatever. We don't want to have to depend on Accordance figuring that out. We just want to click on the word and have it search for the specific word that we're clicking on. So if it's English, it's going to search for English. If it's Greek, if we click on the word that's Greek, it's going to search for Greek. If we click on the word that's Hebrew, it's going to search for the exact word that's Hebrew, or the dictionary form of the Hebrew word. Okay? Or the dictionary form of the Greek word, dictionary form of the English word. It's only going to search for the particular word that we click on. It's not going to search for the key numbers behind the English word that we click on. Okay? So make sure you have that right. That's kind of important. Everything else is good. We want instant, all of that, it looks good. While we're in here, let's change a couple other settings, okay? Let's go here to this third one from the top, and we have appearance. And we are going to change the theme. If you want to change the theme, I like line for some reason. I think it looks cool. I'm going to change the theme to lime. And then I'm also going to go down here to text display. Okay, on text display, so this is under Workspace, there's an option called paragraphs with spaces. So this is where I can change how all the text looks generally. So if you like big text, you can go over here to the size and you can make it bigger. I like it smaller, so I'm going to do 16. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do 14. And then actually for your sake, so you can read it on the screen, I'm going to move it up a little bit. But I like it when I use it. I like small text. So here's what you're going to do. Also, this is another great option to know that it exists. So you have all these options to choose whether these show as separate verses or as paragraphs. Now, I would highly recommend that you choose separate verses. And the reason is because it's so much easier to find your verse that you're looking up. So say you're looking for Genesis 1:4. You always know that Genesis 1:4 is going to start truncated under Genesis 1:2. It's not going to be in a paragraph. Like look how it displays here. So I've got paragraph Genesis 1:1, and then 2 starts over here. It doesn't start back over here. So it's a little harder to find, especially if my text is big. I got to look through where, for example, here you can see it over here. Genesis 1, right here, you got to look through all this to find. There's verse 12, 18. But if I just have it where it's separate verses, it's so much easier. Okay? So I would recommend you change that. But everything else in this, you can leave the same. You don't need to change the fonts unless you have a particular font that you like or whatever. That is easy for you to read. But you can do that. But yeah, just keep it as is. And then we're going to do OK. And yes, we're going to hit apply. There we go. Okay, so look how this does this. Genesis 1:1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just so much easier to read. And that's my preference. Obviously, if you have a completely different preference, you can make it however you want to make it. Just easier for me to use that way. All right, let's change our source text to NASB 95. And let me show you kind of what we did with those live click options. Okay, so live click. Right now we're in English. We have NASB 95 opened with Strong's. And if you notice, a couple things happen when you move your cursor over the words. So look how we're in beginning. See this little white blank space under the screen here? That is showing Hebrew words behind it. The Hebrew source words behind it, earth, right there. It's a noun. It means land, territory, country, the earth. Okay? So that little pop-up below there is called your instant details, and it will show information based on what's under your cursor. It's great. It's amazing. It's really powerful at preventing you from opening a totally different window and seeing a couple sentences of information when you just hover your cursor over it and it shows it automatically. It saves a lot of time. Okay. So now we have your library set up, and I'm going to briefly go over some of the settings options that we changed. For example, let's look at this. If you click, actually, let's go see this little search bar up here. It has this option verses, and it says enter a verse reference. So let's do that. Let's enter Matthew 1:1. Enter. Oh, it's going to make me put a space in there. Matthew 1:1. There we go. Matthew 1:1. Here we are. The record of the genealogy of Jesus. Now, I'm going to do something that's kind of interesting, and a couple windows are going to open. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click on, let's do Abraham. Actually, let's do, what's a better word? Let's do Messiah. So I'm going to single click on Messiah right there. Now, something happened. 2 additional windows popped up. This one right here, which I'm going to get rid of that little, see I'm clicking on this, gets rid of that little side option. Gives me a little bit more room. I did it with this one up here. So 2 of the windows open up. Lexicon lookup, which we talked about earlier, and word usage, which we also talked about. So when we click on this, look what it's doing. So we clicked on Messiah, and then it went and it searched the English word Messiah, and it searched it in all of our lexicons. It searched it in Louw-Nida. We scroll down here, it searched it in Little Kittle, right there. If we keep going, there's a lot of information here on Messiah. Messiah is a popular word. Okay. More Louw-Nida. Hebrew Strongs. So, actually, no, it shouldn't be in the Hebrew Strong. It should be. Anyway, this is a big, a lot of information about Messiah for the particular word. But let's do this. Let's look at word usage tab. So the word usage searched Messiah. See how it's searched in English, Messiah right there. And it searched in the NASB 95, and it came up with 8 hits for the word Messiah in the NASB 95. So it's in Daniel, Matthew, and John. There's our word for Messiah. Okay, that's amazing. Let's do something even crazier. All right, let's go to, instead of looking at English text, let's open a Greek text. So let's go here to the NA28. So see how I did this? I click this little plus icon. It comes up with a drop down. I can do my modern Bibles or Greek or Hebrew. We're going to go to Greek, and we're going to go all the way down to this NA28, New Testament Greek, right there. Boom. All right. So now it's going to, we don't need this. Close that plane. And here we are, Matthew 1:1. And we are in Greek. Okay. Let's click on one of these options. Let's look at Father. Father's a good one right here. See how it's showing me the translation in the ESV down there? Father, to bear, beget, and the instant details. See how it's showing me that down there in this lower section? As I hover over different words, they change. There's Isaac. Okay. We're going to single click on Father. Okay. Watch how these change. Oh, I forgot something. Live click doesn't work if this box up here is not checked. See how it wasn't checked? Didn't work. Okay. Now, there is a setting that says every time you open a new window, live click can either be on or off. We want it to be on. So let's go ahead and change that setting real quick. Kind of a side tangent, but let's just do it. Do it with me here. So we're going to go to check this box, and we're going to click on the gear, and then we're going to do search tabs. Okay, search tabs. Got that? And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to do, this is for settings for new search tabs. We're going to do enable live click right there. And then also, we're going to disable this one, add info pane. We're going to disable that. We don't need the info pane. Uncheck that, and we're going to hit OK. Okay, now every time I open a new window, every time I open a new text, let's do Texas Receptus. Live click is defaulted on. And it didn't open that little extra window that I closed with the earlier tab. Okay. Super cool. Okay, now let's go back to using our live click settings. And let's click on Father again. Here we go. And look at this. It's going to search for Father, quick entry, Father, right here. Or beget. Sorry, that was beget, right? This is Father, brothers. Okay, I'm not a Greek expert. So I have to heavily depend on one thing, and you will too, if you don't know anything Greek or if you're struggling with Greek. I can do a Greek word search, but I cannot read fluent Greek. So what I do is I go over here, I add this parallel. I do NASB 95 with Strong's, so that add parallel, And now look at this. Both of the texts are parallel. Over here at Matthew 3, it shows me what I'm reading. Okay, so Judah, the father, look at that. So it's highlighting both of the words that correlate with the English and in the Greek. The father, see right there, there's my word for father. Let's single click that. See what we get. I think it's the same one. Father, let's try a different one. Let's try Solomon. That'd be an interesting one. There we go. Here's our word for Solomon. Laonida, number 93. This is searching for our this is searching in our lexicons. Yeah, I clicked it. It's searching in lexicons right there. That's the word for Solomon. And Laonida's definition is a person in the genealogy of Jesus, and then it gives the verse reference for Luke and Matthew. And then Greek Strong's Solomon from Hebrew origin. So there we go. And then here's the only two times that that particular word is mentioned. It's mentioned in Matthew 1:4 and Matthew 1:5. So there we go. Okay, now that gives you kind of a little bit of how to use word usage. Word usage is searching for it in the particular text that you click on, and lexicon lookup is looking up the word, doing a word search in your lexicons for the particular word that you click on. Okay, let's set up, lastly, your workspace. So like I said, in the future, we're going to cover a lot more of these this content, like how to use live click in depth, how to use your lexicon lookup in depth, how to use word usage in depth. We're just kind of briefly running through some of these things. But let's go ahead and move forward and let's set up your workspace. Okay, so in this video, there'll be a link to the bottom of a particular workspace that I have made for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that link, and it's going to take you to this OneDrive file. It's a BibleWorks file. It's .accord. It's called, well, it's not a BibleWorks file, but it's called BibleWorks. It's called BibleWorks-24, and we're going to download that. And this file here, it is very, I guess, as close to BibleWorks as I think I can get with the setup that I have, or at least close to the way that I use BibleWorks. So let's go ahead and click on this. This is BibleWorks-24, and it will likely open up. Here we go. Perfect. So it opens up, and it actually opens up in full screen, which is pretty cool. And it looks different initially. Okay. The setup of everything is different. It's actually amazing. I'm going to just briefly explain to you kind of what you're actually looking at here. So remember, your word usage was over there, now it's over here. So we can go ahead and test it out. Let's click on Abraham. And, oh, you know what I need to do? I apologize. I need to close this workspace. Let's go ahead and close this workspace. Let's go open this one. And we're going to click on Abraham. So sometimes, just as a note, if you have two workspaces open, sometimes you get conflicting results. And if you don't know what's what, just completely go over here and quit Accordance. If I can get it to pop up, there we go. Quit Accordance, and then go back and double click that BibleWorks-24 file, and it'll open up what you're looking at right now. Okay, back to word usage. Remember our word usage? This is that tab right there. Works just like the other one, like I showed you. Let's, for example, go to John 1:1, and let's do search for logos. We're going to single click logos. Look how it's searched in English and word usage, and it also searched in our lexicon lookup for word. And here's all the passages in NASB 95 that have the dictionary form of word. Okay, does that make sense? Now what we're going to do, and I'm going to move this down just a little bit, this instant details. That's a lot of A lot of white for the instant details. I don't need that much space. Now I'm going to show you something that's also cool. Is I have now paralleled in this particular workspace. I've paralleled John, NASB 95 with the NA28, New Testament Greek. As I scroll through this, as I scroll through John, look how the NA28 just follows that. Isn't that pretty cool? If I go to John 20 up here, I could go up here or I scroll back to John, let's see here, 14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So see how I move my cursor? It's following the Greek text down there below. Super, super cool. So let's do this. Let's click on this dwelt in John 1:14. Single click that. And it's going to search in the Greek. So let's search the NA28 over here for word usage. I have 4 hits for that particular Greek word. And I've got, so NA28, John, Revelation, 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 Revelation. Okay? Pretty cool. And look at search for it in the lexicon lookup for in Laonida. It's word 85.75. To come, to dwell in a place, to find. So, and there's the whole definition, and there's a whole lot more in here. And then here's the definition for little kittle. And we'll talk about how to use that in future. But there you go. Search for it search the dictionary form of dwelt right up here in the lexicon lookup. Okay, now you're probably wondering, what are all these, and what are these extra tabs, and blah, blah, blah. What's this one over here? Glad you asked. Let's briefly dive in. I feel bad I'm rushing through this, but we just don't have time. And I'm going to have additional lessons on more of this stuff. I just kind of want to get your feet wet in some of this stuff so you can kind of like piddle around with it. So this little tab right here, if you click on it, it's your verse lookup. Okay. Now, if you notice, it has these little arrows right there. See those little arrows? It's very interesting. That means that it is tied to another tab. And those tab ties right here, it's tied to this one. See how those arrows are right there? That means if I go to this tab and I scroll through here, I probably need to click on one of these verse references to get it to pop up. There we go. I scroll through it, see how it's tied? So here it is in NASB 95. I'm in Matthew 4:5, right there, 4:5. I go down to Matthew 5:5. This one changes over here. But let me show you something that's really cool, which you probably already noticed. Remember all the Bibles that you put into your Bible I use user group? All those are listed right here. So you've got NASB 95, Net, ESV, Darby, Young's Literal, and all the other ones, all your 2 Greek texts, which all those are showing up here. But it's showing you the verse at the very top of your page that it's tied to. So it'll follow me wherever I go. Watch this. If I go to, let's do Joel. Here we are. Here's all our Joel 1:1. Scroll down. Let's go to Joel 1:13. It's a long verse. But look at it. It's still showing me Darby, ESV, Joel 1:13, NASB, Joel 1:13. Okay? Super, super cool. Let's go back to the Testament here. Let's just do John. I like John. And we'll look at, what should we look at? Let's go back to John 1:14. Let's go. I like this word, dwelt. So see how if I highlight dwelt, it's also highlighting everything in, like, it's just like all the highlights are tied. Isn't that cool? Became flesh and dwelt, and it's doing it in every single window that it's tied to. Pretty cool. But let me tell you something. I actually made a mistake when I made this purposefully. I tied verse lookup to this particular window, but I don't want that to be so. See how it says scrolling is tied to verse lookup? So I'm going to actually go over here and I'm going to click these 2 little up and down arrows. I'm going to click it. I'm going to say I want to tie to NASB plus Hebrew, Old Testament, and Greek, New Testament. Now that's my this tab over here. This is my main tab. I want to tie it to my main tab. I'm going to go over to this one, NASB plus Greek, Old Testament, and New Testament. I'm going to click on the two arrow up and down arrows, and I'm going to do remove all ties. Okay, but now my verse lookup is tied to this window. Now watch this. When I move through John in this window, or if I go to Revelation, look at that. Verse lookup changes. Revelation 1:2, right there. There it is. Revelation 1:3. It's going to switch. It's amazing. This is so powerful. It saves you so much time. I can look at multiple translations instantly, and they follow me, and they're just always there. I just have to tie verse lookup to whatever the active window or tab that I'm using. That's great to keep handy. Okay, a couple more things I want to tell you. Let's talk about the little source text window under here. So this is very interesting. Let's go to Matthew 1. Got to put a space in there. Okay, so this particular window or tab is called NASB plus Hebrew Old Testament and Greek, and I guess you can't quite see it, but it's Greek New Testament. So here's our source text. It's NASB, but it has paralleled with it the NA28 Greek source text. Look at that. So see how it's all paired? It's amazing. It's the NA28. But look at this. Immediately when we scroll up back to the Old Testament, it switches to Hebrew. So our source text is now Hebrew. Okay? And it's, of course, if you're not familiar with Hebrew, Hebrew reads from right to left. So that's why the verse references are over here. And here we are. We're at Malachi, is it 13? 3:12 right there, 3:10. There you go. Look at that. So there's your Hebrew source text, and see how it highlights them, just how it does in Greek. You can do the same thing with live click and verse lookup and lexicon lookup as you can with Hebrew, which did I briefly show you that? Here, let's do bring. So we can click on bring. Here's the Hebrew word for bring. It's going to look up that in the Hebrew, and then here's all the results for it in word usage in our Hebrew source text. So anyway, just want to show you that real quick. Look how it switches. It's pretty cool in between Matthew and the Old Testament. It's just pretty amazing. But I want to show you something else. This second tab right here is the NASB plus Greek Old Testament and New Testament. Okay? There's the key. Let's go to Matthew on this one, see what it does. So here obviously, we're Matthew 1:1. We got the Greek New Testament, NA28 right there. And same. Everything's normal. Now, if we scroll up to Malachi, look at this here. We are looking at the Septuagint. So we've got the Greek Old Testament now. Okay, super cool. So one tab has Hebrew as a source text for the Old Testament. The other tab has a Septuagint as a source text for the Old Testament. So that's pretty powerful. Okay, a couple more things I want to show you. Let's say you're looking at Hebrew, for example, and let's actually do this for John. Let's go back to John, go to our main window. See, I clicked on the main tab there. We're going to do John 1, and let's do 14. Go back to our word that we were at here. Dwelt. So we're going to single click on the word dwelt. Okay, single click on that, and look at this. It shows in my word usage, John, all the references, all the times that it's in there. Now let's say I don't know Greek, and so I'm over here going, I don't know what these, I don't know how to read these. No problem. Here's what I do. See this little open right here? See how it doesn't appear until my cursor's over it? See that little blue button? I can click on that. So if I click open right there, it opens up this in the third tab. Now what's cool about this third tab is I've already added a parallel for you. And look at this. It has John 1:14, just like this over here, word usage. and it has Revelation 7:15, Revelation 7:15, Revelation 12:12, Revelation 12:12. They're all the same, okay? This is basically the same thing that's over there, that's over here, except it's got the English parallel with that. So if I want to go here and I want to see all the verse references and what those read for the particular Greek word that I'm looking at, I can just go, oh, John 1:14. This is one that I just found and read. And the words for that was dwelt among us. But if I go over here down to Revelation 15, let's read it. For the reason that they are before the throne, for this reason, they are before the throne of God, and they serve him day and night in his temple. And he who sits on his throne will spread his tabernacle over them. Super, super cool. So the word for dwelt among us in John is the same word for tabernacle in Revelation. And or Revelation 7:15. Let's see if it's the same as 7:12. Look at this. And he will dwell in them. So no, it's not. Let's look at Revelation 13:6. Where is it here? Dwell. Okay. And then finally Revelation 21:3. Dwell. Okay. So we've got 3, 4 dwells and 1 tabernacle. Super cool. All that information we could find. If we would have just searched for dwell, we would have gotten a bunch of different hits. But instead, we searched for this particular Greek word, and we got all these hits, and we're able to read them. Super, super amazing. Super useful, super powerful. Okay, so that's how you use your word usage. You just go over here, click that little blue open button, and it'll open it up in that third tab for you. Okay. All right. A couple more things. I'm going to show you how to use these windows right here. See how kind of in the corner, these little windows. We're going to do that by, I'll just go ahead and click on this, the little gear again, live clicks checked, that little gear appears. We're going to do amplify, okay? Second one down, amplify, and for our triple click defaults, yes, there's an option that you use that it's called triple click, and it's called triple click because you literally have to click 3 times pretty fast to get it to work, but it's very powerful, and it's pretty cool. So let's change these settings so we can use it properly. English is photo guide sampler. I don't know why that's selected. I think I've ever seen that selected before. We're going to do NASB topical index. Okay. And then Greek, we're going to choose NASB Greek dictionary right there. And for Hebrew, we're going to choose NASB Hebrew dictionary, NAS Hebrew dictionary right there. And also, you probably don't have NASB 2020. That's okay. I have it. You can use it if you want to. The NASB Greek dictionaries, they're very similar. So just whatever's up to you, whatever you want to do. And then for verse reference, let's do, now let me see if I have this. I think you will have a different one for this, for cross references. I'm going to do notes. I'm going to do NASB with strong. I'm going to use the Strong's, the NASB notes. Maybe I'll do the net. I'll do the NASB notes as my verse references. But if you find that there's another verse reference source that you really, really like, you can put it in there. And I'll show you how to use it. Okay, this also needs to be NASB Greek dictionary, and this one needs to be Hebrew as well. There we go. And let me see if all these are right. Yes, we want this checked. All that's correct. Okay. Now I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to show you how triple click works. So triple click works like this. I find a Greek or Hebrew word that I want to see more information on. Let's do dwelt again. We're kind of on a roll with dwelt here. We're going to find the Greek word for dwelt. This is in John 1:14 right there. And we're going to triple click. So 1, 2, 3. And look at this. It opened it up right here in this NASB Greek. Did you see how this window changed right here? It highlighted it in green. It changed. And it searched for it right there. And you can't really see it because it's not, entry is very small. there's a way I can make it to where you could see it. Anyway, you're just going to have to trust me. It did search for it right there. And maybe I can make it show. I can't. Okay. Regardless. It did show right here. So here's it's searching for in the SNASB Greek dictionary, which these are really powerful. Here's why they're really powerful. Look at this. It's showing me that this word for dwelt is from 4633. And look, as I hover over 4633, look at the instant details down there. It says it's giving me exactly what that 4633 is. It's actually clicking on it for me. And it tells me it's word tent, dwelling, tabernacle, tabernacles, tent. Okay. And the word means to have one's tent, to dwell. And then it gives me the times that it's used or that it's translated, that this Greek word is translated in the NASB. And so dwell, it's translated 3 times. Dwelt, it's translated once. Spread his tabernacle, it's translated once, which we looked through all those references. They were all right here. Remember those? They were all there. We already saw them. Let's click on this right here, 4633, and it's going to bring up what this means. A tent, dwelling, tabernacle, tabernacles, tents. Pretty cool. So that word dwell has something to do with tabernacle. So let's say if I click on this, 4633, it comes up now, but I want to go back to the dwell word. See this little arrow right here? Very small arrow, very important arrow. So we're going to click on that. So move to prior location. It's going to take us back to the one that we were at here. Okay? You can do this with anything, any other Greek word. 1, 2, 3. Here we are for received. And look at this. Here's our how many times it's translated and what it's translated as. 64 times it's translated received or receive, and then 48 it's received, overtaken. There we go. Now, this is great for compound words, and I'm trying to think if I can find a compound word here for you. Oh, you saw. Let's see if this one compound word only begotten. Oh, here's a great compound word. So this compound word for only begotten is from 3441. And so look at that instant details, show us what that is. 3431, only, by themselves only, and 1096, which is from the root of to become, to come into being, to happen, to become, to accomplish. Okay? So this Greek word is a compound word using these 2 words. And so I can click on this and I can see the definition for that one. And that gives me more information as the root of the particular words. So it has those 2 words as its root. Greek is big on compound words. And so it's really good to look at root words. Let's see if the fastest one. No, it's not. Some of these bigger words. Anyway, you get the idea. It's just very useful for. Let's look at. Let's go back to John here. Testified might be a compound. Go here to the Greek. Triple click. No, so it just tells us, but it is from the root word of 3144. So it's 3140, but it's from 3144, and it means to bear witness, testify, and it just it means a witness. Okay. I'm trying to find a good compound for you. We already looked at some compounds, but here's a good compound. To send away. It's from 5575 and 4724. This is sent him to Jerusalem to to send away, and there's, look at the, we can click on this one. It's particle from away, it's a preposition, and then we got 4724, to arrange, to repair, gather up, hence to restrain. There we go. So great, it's just an amazing tool that you can use to find root words, sources of root words for Greek. That is the Greek dictionary using triple click. So you can do the exact same thing with Hebrew. I'll just do it real quick. For you, let's go back to, let's go to Job. And I'll do 1, 2, 3. It's going to bring up the Hebrew dictionary. And it's the exact same thing as to how you use it for the Hebrew and the Greek. So there you go. NASB Hebrew Dictionary, Greek Hebrew Dictionary. Very, very useful with triple click. Very, very powerful. Okay, lastly, for setting up your workspace, I want you to save it, and I want you to save it a certain way, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to your file, and you're going to do, actually, let's, because when you save things, they always save exactly like you left them. So I'm going to leave it at John 1, or whatever your favorite verse is. I don't know. You can do a favorite verse if you have one. And actually, I should do it in my main. Okay, do it in my main window, and go over here to File, drop down to Save As, and I'm going to save at, see it says as BibleWorks.accord, and it's where it's in my Accordance files. That's perfect. Okay, if yours doesn't say that, I would probably change it to that one, where you find where you put your Accordance file, Accordance 24, or sorry, BibleWorks-24, and then hit save. It's going to ask you. Oh, it didn't ask me. Never mind. Okay. Secondly, after you save it, you go up here to File, and you're going to do Open Workspaces. Now, see how you have these workspaces? You're going to do Add Current Workspace BibleWorks 24. Just click on that. Okay. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over to your settings, to your little gear we clicked on, and you go all the way up to the top to General right there, and this is your startup options. So when you first open Accordance, how is it going to open? This is going to tell you. So it's not going to be from your last session. It's going to be from your favorite workspace, which obviously, what's your favorite workspace? It's BibleWorks right there, BibleWorks-24. Select that, hit OK. And this is why this is important. It's so easy, especially if you're a newbie, to mess up Accordance. So let's say I close this. I get this. I close this accidentally. This gets all messed up. And I mess this up. I don't know how to fix it. And now I got stuff over here open. I got hymn lyrics. I got all kinds of stuff open. And it's all weird. And then I've got, I got something over here. I don't know what it is. It looks totally different. I don't know how I'm clicking on stuff. Different things are appearing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay? It's totally fine. Mess it up as much as you want. As long as this little file up here, which like we already did for our general, as long as your favorite workspace on startup is BibleWorks-24, you're good to go. Because all you have to do is go over here and you hit quit. Where is it? Oh, no, don't want to shut everything down. Quit Accordance right there. Boom, you're done. Now go back over here, go to your Launchpad, find Accordance, open it. It's going to take a little second. Boom, everything's back. You're instantly back to the same way that you saved it, which is BibleWorks-24. Remember how we ended it with the John 1:1? We saved it like that. It's all back. So there you go. If you ever mess everything up, that's how you get it all back. Okay? There may be a couple other settings that I think we need to change. I'm going to run through it real quick. I don't think there is, but we will check and see. I think we're good to go. Okay, guys, that is how to set up Accordance, how to start from install, set up your library, set your settings up, set your workspace up to go from basically 1 to 10 on Mac. It's pretty simple. I'm sorry this is a way too long video, but I did want to get this out to you guys. That way you could start working on it and kind of get a feel for how to use the very basics of Accordance. Have fun, guys.